Welcome to the very exciting world of tourism. Today, we are going to discuss what is a travel agency, various concepts and functions of management which are applied in the travel agency business, and what are the functions of a travel agency. So, the given module will focus on the various aspects in the functioning of travel agency. Before we head on to the functions, let us understand what is a travel agency. A travel agency is basically a one-stop shop. The minute a traveler or a tourist thinks of an extensive travel, she thinks of a travel agency. A travel agent has to therefore add value to the company and to the traveler. A travel manager specializes in packaging the required travel arrangements. What we need to understand here is that a travel agency is basically an expertise, a consultancy which gives you all types of solutions related to travel and makes all the arrangements for you when you wish to visit a destination. It basically, in other words, facilitates travel arrangements for a tourist. So practically all travel agencies in India are owned by private entrepreneurs and the scope for setting up agency is great. Basically, I would like to add on here that in India, mostly the travel agency businesses are run by the small families, and we also run by the families, and the businesses taken care by the other family members also. So most of the staff is basically related to the family that runs the show. And here we may say that most of the travel companies are SMEs, which means small and medium sized enterprises. Now we need to understand why this business of tourism is mushrooming and why the travel agencies have a great scope in the future. As the standard of living has risen across the world, maybe because of the rising middle class, with people with both the husband and wife who are working together, and we have the dual career couples who are contributing to the discretionary income. As a result, the couples have more money to spend on their holiday, which means more money for pleasure travel. Thus, travel trade is on a boom today. Taking vacations has become a way of life for many. In fact, people are gaga over traveling and spending their time holidaying. So all this demonstrates that the potential of industry is enormous. When tourist visits a destination, he has two choices. Either he travels on his own, or he seeks the assistance of a travel company, which may be a travel agent or a tour operator. So, a travel agency is a link between the traveler, tourist on one side, and the principal supplier, that is the airlines, hotel, tourist and transport operator, etc. on the other. He's a very crucial link, because for the traveler, he's a one-stop solution to all his travel problems. Whether he wants to, he has a question in mind that he should visit which destination, which country of the world, while visiting a country, which destinations he should opt for, or which hotel properties he should stay in, by which airlines he should travel, or which places he should go for sightseeing on his limited time of sightseeing tour. So all these questions are taken care, and all these problems are resolved by the travel agency, which acts as a facilitator and for the traveler. And it also has a link between the principal suppliers as well as the traveler. The principal suppliers are the airlines, the railway authorities, the hotels. So it connects all of them, or the packages are generally the tour operator also sells his packages through a travel agency, and that's why we may call tour operator as a wholesaler, as he buys in bulk and then he sells it to a travel agent, who is also called as the retailer. So travel agency earns commission for travel services rendered to public on behalf of the principal suppliers. For example, if he is selling, airlines tickets, the travel agency is selling airlines tickets, or he is selling the hotel rooms. On that, he would be earning, or he's selling a package. On that, he would earn a commission from the principal supplier or the tour operator. So what does a travel agency do? We need to understand that. So we could also describe this as his job description, that what is expected of a travel agent. So he is responsible for booking air tickets, or railway tickets, coach tickets, or arrangement for facilitation of like hotels, bookings, hotel bookings, planning tours, itineraries, and even arranging foreign exchange and insurance. Like especially when you're traveling internationally, you need to have insurance with you. So travel insurance is mandatory for most of the countries of the world. For that, he would insure, or he would facilitate the foreign exchange also, that you can buy through him, or he could tell you the authorized foreign exchange dealers. Likewise, he could arrange travelers checks for you. He could arrange the insurance for you. He could also help you with the visa facilitation, etc. On the other hand, it channelizes businesses to the airlines, hotels, transport operators, etc. And it is for this service that commissions are paid, which may be varying in percentage on the total amount of the value of the ticket or the hotel room charges, etc. Any tourism business needs to be managed well. Like any other organization, if you intend to set up and manage a travel agency business professionally, you must apply the management concepts and functions not only in planning but also in operations. The management tasks in a travel agency are related to the nature of business operations and the services offered. So, what does the travel agency do? The primary role of a travel agency is to provide the purchase of travel to the customers at a convenient location. It is at these locations that the travel agencies act as the booking agent for airlines, railways, road or water transportation, hotels or package tours. You see, basically, like there are many cruise companies. Let's take for example Royal Caribbean. So Royal Caribbean, it is basically an American-based cruise liner. So anyone from India, for example, wishes to travel on Royal Caribbean, he will not go and visit straight USA and connect with Royal Caribbean. So the staff, Royal Caribbean itself is cruise liners. Basically, if you want to sail in them, so you want to sail and take the experience of sailing in a cruise. So they sell their product through the various travel agencies or travel agents who are posted in India. So here it is, so thus as an Indian, it becomes very convenient for me to take this to buy this tourism product of cruise liner within India, sitting in India. So that is one concept, that a convenient location is made possible only through a travel agent who are based in different parts of the country, who may be representing the various foreign multinationals, travel companies who may be in different parts of the world. So they also provide certain ancillary services like travel insurance, as I discussed before, the foreign exchange, the traveler's checks. The traveler's checks, basically they remove the hassle of taking cash. So when you're traveling to a foreign country, you need money to spend on the shopping and all. So through traveler's check, you can just take this cashless, cashless transactions, and you can be rest assured and relaxed that you are not carrying any cash with you. Likewise, procuring of visas, sometimes also travel agency assists with that, and other travel documentation like permits, for example visiting Sikkim. For that, even the domestic tourist, like you have to have a permit, like going to Nathula Pass in Sikkim, so and many other places. So the travel agents, they know what are the important documentation for visiting different places, like visiting Nicobar Islands. You need a proper documentation for that. So likewise, making airport transfers, custom clearances, all this is taken care by a travel agency. So we see travel agency has a very strategic role. It basically facilitates you with all the travel arrangements and makes all your travel hassle free. Besides that, one of the very important functions of travel agency is not only making arrangements for you but also providing consultancy. Many times the tourist is in a fix that where should I go, when should I go, what is the best time to visit a destination, and how should I travel to that destination, or where should I stay, Where can I do my shopping from? What are the rules and regulations to be followed in while visiting a country? For example, while visiting Singapore, you must not eat a chewing gum. So, as a travel agent, you must be aware of this rule, and you also have to pass on the same information to the tourist. Maybe a honeymoon couple approaches you and they say, we have no clue where we wish to travel to. So, as a travel agent, you must know, you can suggest them that whether they want to go, you must clear the myths, whether they want to go outbound or whether they want to travel within India. If they want to go to outbound, you may ask them the budget, the timings they have. If they have enough budget, you could suggest them Switzerland. If they don't have enough budget, you could suggest them Thailand, or you could suggest them Bali. So these things, or maybe within India, I could suggest them going to Himachal, Uttarakhand, Goa. So depending upon the interest also. So here the travel agent clears the mist and he helps to give a clarity of thought to the tourist that where he should travel to and how he can travel to that place, maybe by train, by car, by air, and where he should stay and any kind of information. However, such consultancy is only possible after understanding what exactly the customer is looking for. That's why we say that in tourism you have to sense the nose. Journalists must have a good nose for news. A travel agent must have a good nose for sensing what is going on in the mind of the traveler. You must understand the customer behavior, consumer behavior, and accordingly you have to suggest him options. Maybe there's a couple who really is up to adventure, so you could suggest them going to Andamans and Nicobar and trying water activities like scuba diving and all in Havelock Islands. So that depends upon the interest of the traveler. This role has to be performed impartially by the travel agency in order to give the best to the customer. So let us understand the classification, which is generally it is based on the memberships also. Like for the travel agent, most important membership they must sort for is IATA, that is International Air Transport Association, or they could also be associated with various other associations which are of international importance, like PATA, which stands for Pacific Area Travel Association, or ASTA, American Society of Travel Agents, or APTA, Association of British Travel Agents, or WATA, that is World Association of Travel Agents, or UFTA, Universal Federation of Travel Agents Association, and or TAI. Like in India, we have TAI, Travel Agents Association of India. So there are different organizations, and memberships must be taken for them, and that increases your credibility as a travel agent. In India, we have also TAFE, Travel Agents Federation of India. So that's also one of the members. Many travel agents become members of that. Besides these recognitions, they can also be distinguished by the type of business they are in or the service which they offer. For example, many travel agencies, they offer only domestic operations, so they become domestic travel agents. Some offer international operations, they become outbound tour operators. And some opt for within their own country they want to sell, so they become inbound travel agents. So that's one classification. Likewise, they may opt for like selling cruise travel agent, who is only selling cruise packages, someone who's only selling the hotel packages, so they are into specialization of hotels. Some are offering only wildlife packages, some are only offering heritage packages. So that could also be one of the classifications. The operations and managerial tasks in a travel agency vary according to the nature of the business. However, certain managerial tasks and management functions can be common to all, and they emerge out of job description. So one of the very important functions besides facilitating arrangements and providing consultancy is acquiring product knowledge. Unless a manager acquires product knowledge, it is difficult to be successful in a travel agency business. That forms the soul of any travel agency business. Basically, any travel company, any person who wants to be a travel agent, he must have a very good and a very thorough knowledge of the product he intends to sell. Because today's customer is very smart, today's traveler is very smart, he's well traveled, he knows what he wants, and he's a world-class traveler. So he is already well traveled, so he has very high expectations from a travel agency when he contacts them again for any kind of travel package. So unless a manager acquires product knowledge, will be difficult to be successful in this trade. It is more true because most of the travel agencies are small family businesses. I told you earlier also, because generally these businesses are run by families itself, small families with owners who are acting as managers or who are employing little staff. The managers themselves should have a sound product knowledge in order to guide and direct their staff. So basically, the managers have to be very well aware, because as I said, customer could ask you anything, and this is applicable for both outbound as well as domestic travel. So in both cases, you must have a proper and a very thorough knowledge of the tourism product that you're selling. Maybe you're a travel agent in Ural. You are selling train tickets of Ural network of Europe. So then the traveler could ask you what are the sectors in which it operates, and which train I should travel to. For example, he's traveling to Spain. You could suggest him which train he must travel by, so that he has a good scenic view of the country, of the countryside, and he's able to also save upon his time, and plus it is economical also for him. So these kind of small tips which you only gather through acquiring the thorough product knowledge, that is only possible through going beyond the tricks of the trade and learning more and more, and then passing on the same information to the tourist. So a travel agent must acquire the product knowledge in the following areas. First of all, he should be very well versed with the destination he's selling. If he's selling India, he must know what are the climatic conditions of the country, which is the best time for a foreigner to visit India. Maybe you are calling him within summer's time, that would not be a good time. So especially people who are coming from Northern Europe, for them this could be a strange contrast of the climate. So best time to visit India is October to March. So you must be clear about the peak season, the off-peak season, the shoulder time, you should be aware about your destination, what are the political situations in the country. Tourists could ask who is the ruling party, what is the system of politics here. So you should be always aware, and maybe sometimes there is a strike, maybe sometimes there is a complete shutdown due to any political upheaval. So you must be aware always of the current situations, the special events and public holidays which happen. So maybe you have kept the itinerary of a foreign tourist to a visit to a Taj Mahal during on Friday. So that is going to be the worst thing that can happen to him. So you must be always aware of what are the events happening around. Like if you are taking him to Delhi Hat, which on weekends generally they have fairs happening, different fairs. So you must be aware of the special events taking place in your destination, the customs, the culture, cuisine of the country, the major attractions, the health and any other hazards which are associated while visiting a destination. If somebody wants to visit Africa, you must tell him that he must take a yellow fever vaccination before visiting it. So these, all tips, 100 tips, they are very, very important. Currency exchange rates, travel regulations and documents, accommodation facilities. You must be thorough with all the product knowledge. Besides of the destinations, besides not only the destination he should have the knowledge of, the travel agent must also be well versed with the airlines. He must know how the reservation system of the airlines, a particular airlines works, what are the routes on which it operates, what are the flight schedules, what are its fares, what are the types of aircrafts, what are the services offered on board. Maybe like Emirates these days offers Wi-Fi. Tourists could ask you this question: does Virgin Atlantic offer Wi-Fi service? So all these things you should be very aware. You should not sound blank. So information about connecting flights, like if it's a transit flight, what is the time duration, and whether you have to go through the airport handling procedures again and again. So this clarity must be with you. You must have all this information with you before you pass on to the client, because he could ask you anything. So we will discuss about the airports also. So the travel agent must have information about the airports also, like the facilities which are there at the airport. Like if we talk about the IGI Indira Gandhi International Airport based in New Delhi. So there we have all the facilities ranging from a prayer room to the baby changing room to spa facility to Samus snooze, means you can pay and you can sleep there for some time if you have a long transit time, or if you have a delay in a flight. So all these kind of facilities are available, the restaurants and all. So you must pass on the same information to the client. Maybe if he has reached early, so he could spend time in the duty free shopping area also. So you could acquaint him with all this information, plus the what are the regulations of the customs, the security, distances within the city, from the city, surface, road and road, water transportation, connections, fare and car rentals, reservation system and procedures. All these things you need to know, like within the airport, which are the car rental services which are available, what are the connections. So all these things are very important. So other aspects include the package tours and excursions. You must pass on this information to the client, that what are the excursions, what are the special optional tours, excursions, what is included in the package. Or you must also have thorough information of the principal suppliers whom you're dealing with, what is their image, what is the financial standing, what are the services that they offer, what is the quality, and what is the commission offered. Maybe you are expecting it's a very good quality, but the client says that it was not a good quality. So you also have to keep your eyes and ears open all the time. And accordingly, if you think you need to change the principal supply, you should not stop from doing that, because ultimate objective of yours should be to give a quality service to the client. Then managing information is important, and there are different sources of information for a travel agency. So they could be managerial practices in CRS, computerized reservation systems, which are produced for the trade, or the brochures and new bulletins of the principal suppliers. It could be the newspapers, it could be the television programs, it could be documentary films, travel trade magazines, current affair magazines, familiarization trips, and travel advisories. So these are the possible sources of information. Then, as a manager, you must be well informed, and there should be constant exchange of information between you and your employees. You also have to ensure proper information storing and updating mechanism in your organization. This could be filing, storing data on computers, or both. Besides, everyone in the organization must strictly ensure that any change, addition, withdrawal, etc. has to be immediately taken note of without any time lag. And one of the other functions is ensuring infrastructure and support services. So the management must ensure the availability of required infrastructure and support systems like telephones, faxes, emails, photocopiers, desktops, laptops. So these days we have the iPads also. The top management people may have been given the facility of iPad also. So all these facilities are the most basic facilities for any travel agent to operate, for the staff to operate, and answer to the queries, or the customer is able to reach out through these mechanisms. So you have to ensure these basic infrastructure services are available. These are essential communication equipments in a travel agency, which are needed for requesting information, receiving information, making reservations, confirmations, and transmitting information to clients. Proper use of communication technology saves time, reduces cost, and contributes to the overall profitability of the agency. Having trained staff for operating them and regular maintenance of the equipment and other managerial tasks, they are also very important. Not only this, but the staff should be trained for maintaining records, like that is also called as the activity report of the messages and notes that are exchanged. Basically, all the correspondence would only take place through the requisite infrastructure which is available with any travel agency. So you must facilitate your staff with all the necessary infrastructure and help them with all the equipment, so that they can reach out to the customer, and the customer can also reach out to them. And also internally also they can communicate well with their colleagues and the top management or the lower management. So similarly, management should provide for filing systems, stationery, office supplies, necessary counters and office space arrangements, display areas, etc. You have to provide the management with the supplies, stationery, all kind of facilitation that you can do for your people. Generally nowadays we also have the paperless offices, because everything is on email, but yet we need to have all these necessary infrastructure requirements with us. Basically, common materials in an office use like photocopy paper, toner, envelopes, folders, etc. Travel agency needs certain specific material for work efficiency, such as client files, agency stamp, promotional materials, business cards, letterheads. Every colleague, every person, staff, he or she should have his own business card. The letterheads on that, the shows that the communication that you're doing is the most authentic. So all these things are very, very important. So with this, I would like to recapitulate. Right now, we started with the concept of a travel agency, that what is a travel agency. We understood that it is a one-stop shop which makes all the travel arrangements for you. It facilitates you with all the travel arrangements. It makes you more comfortable. It makes you feel more safe and secure. Why? Because all your arrangements are being taken care by someone in an alien, in an unfamiliar destination, and so you remain comfortable that someone is doing things on your behalf. At the same time, it also saves your time as well as money, because sometimes if you do not take the help of a travel agency and you venture out on your own, and then you might end up wasting a lot of time and money, maybe staying in a hotel property which you have not read about or you're not aware of. And that's why a travel agency comes into picture, because it is already aware, it has already tried and tested the various tourism products, and the ones that it is giving it to you, it has already filtered the choices for you. So you are in a better situation to just to grab the product and just to enjoy your holiday without any stress, or without making any arrangements, doing the planning, organizing things, because there is someone who is doing all this homework for you. Secondly, when we understood what is a travel agency, we understood there are various types of tour operators there, and they also have to do various memberships of important associations. Besides, they also have to, they could opt for outbound, domestic, inbound operations, or they could deal with in a particular tourism product, like in cruise liners, or maybe in selling railway tickets, or maybe in selling hotel rooms only. So a travel agent could only sell one particular country, one particular destination. So they specialize in different aspects. Likewise, they also have various functions. First is the product knowledge. They must have a very, very thorough knowledge of the product, be it the destinations, be it the airlines they are selling, be it the airport, be it the hotel they are selling, be it the cruise liner they are selling, anything, whatever they are selling, they must have all the possible knowledge of. Secondly, they should also have the travel agent must have the required infrastructure created for the staff, so that they can do their work smoothly and it does not hamper their day-to-day operations. With this, thank you very much, learners. Wish you a very happy learning. Thank you.